Hello, hello. Oh dear. Why does this keep happening? Oh my goodness gracious. I think that's better. Oh dear. We're a little dark, huh? I did not anticipate that. Let's see. Lovely. Lovely. All right. Hello, friends. Hello. Oh, I forgot to turn my fairy lights on. Oh, jeepers. There we go. It's always more magical with those on. Am I in focus? Gonna be closer? Okay. We're getting there. Hello! Good morning, my loves. Happy Sunday. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. We are just gonna hang out, read some Winnie the Pooh, drink some tea. It's gonna be the most fun, so I hope that you're excited. Let's see here. Ooh, let me change the tea that I'm drinking. It's very exciting tea. It's actually caffeine free, which I don't know how wise that is at this point. Mayhaps that's too small. There we are. Oh, I turned it off. And I can make it a little bigger. Lovely. Okay, fantastic. There we are. Now we're ready to go. I hope you're doing well today. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't tie this in my usual fashion because I was in such a rush. My body just likes to sleep in on Sundays. So my cats are fed, but they've been a little rambunctious, so they may be making some guest appearances. Okay. All right. This is actually a rooibos tea. You can see it's kind of red. Ah, Beverly, you didn't miss a thing. No worries. Ooh, that's really good with milk and sugar. Yes. Oh my goodness, lovely, lovely to see you, Beverly. Alrighty, alrighty. I'm a little tired. I'm not gonna lie. And I was in a little bit of a rush to get ready, like I usually am for these Sunday streams. And where is even in focus for me? Here-ish? Ben, hello, hello. We're going to be doing some reading today. Let me pull my braids out a little bit. I am doing well. Thank you, Beverly. Yeah, doing pretty well. The schedules and things have changed a lot since I've been streaming on Twitch. It's just been going like so amazingly well that I've been doing it more than I thought I would be. So that's very exciting. I love it. I will be careful. How are you today, Beverly? How are you doing today, Ben? And because YouTube is not so kind to performing covers, I've decided that Sunday streams on YouTube are just going to be reading. I was thinking, this was my sister-in-law's idea and I want to know what you think about it. That's mayhaps a touch bright. There we go. Whoopsie daisies. Aw, thank you, Beverly. Yeah, you can totally subscribe with your Amazon Prime account over there. Like every little bit helps. Like it's crazy to me because yeah, it's just crazy. Everyone is so wonderful over there. You're in pain, dude. Glad you're getting into bed. Good. I'm glad you're getting into bed too. And if this little tea party can help you out, distract you a little bit, entertain you, make you smile, I am happy to be of service, my dear. Oh, this is so good. Yeah, so I was thinking I'm probably just going to be reading on YouTube because I get like a million emails every time I stream and I sing songs and they're like, you don't own this song or this song or this song or this song or this song. And I'm like, I know that I don't. But, so it was my sister-in-law's idea that we should have like just a YouTube only book. So that way, if you can only make the Sunday day streams, you don't miss any of the story. Oh, you're lovely, Beverly. I appreciate you. You're so lovely. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, I really like this idea of having like a YouTube dedicated book, maybe something more like a novel. And I just found out, why not do all the streams on Twitch, just do Sunday earlier? I actually have been doing Sunday streams after I get off of here. So I'm probably going to only be on until 1:30 or so. And then I'll probably be on Twitch by 2 or 3, which I realize is a bit late for you. I apologize. Yeah, so I recently found out that I recently found out that Peter Pan, the novel, is in the public domain. How would you like me to read Peter Pan in the future on YouTube, to have a YouTube book? Because the thing is like, yes, now I'm doing... I am not cheating on you, not even a little. Yeah, I'm just kind of taking it easy right now. We're just gonna do some reading, and you'll never grow. I won't grow up, I won't grow up. I don't wanna tie a tie, I don't wanna tie a tie. And you'll something, 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 something in the middle of July. 'Cause growing up means just one thing. I'll never grow up, never grow up, never grow up. Not me, not I, not me. So I have to get Peter Pan from the library. I haven't read Peter Pan since I was a kid. I wonder what happened to that copy. Yeah, Peter Pan. I think that would be a lovely book to read on YouTube because it is in the public domain and it's magical and wonderful. It's interesting, the play Peter Pan actually enters the public domain in like 3.5 years. It's crazy. Like, oh wow, it's that old, huh? So yeah. I take it that means y'all are a fan of having a YouTube dedicated book. And it sounds like you enjoy the idea of Peter Pan. As do I. It'd be really nice. I mean, the nice thing now about doing Winnie the Pooh is they are all their own stories. So you don't need to have listened to the one prior or the one after to know what's going on. Nico is here. Hello, love. We were just discussing the idea of having a book just for YouTube. So this will just be a reading stream because YouTube doesn't like it when I sing covers. Which like makes me a little sad. Muppets is over here. You had the Mary Martin Peter Pan on VHS as a kid. I did too. I grew up with that. Gosh, I wanted to like be Mary Martin when I was a kid. I mean, I still kind of do, I'm not gonna lie. She's amazing. And those cheekbones on her. Oh, girl. Yeah, and I will do Anne of Green Gables one day, especially because I've never read Anne of Green Gables. So on Twitch through September, I'd like to keep reading Winnie the Pooh. And then you're a Peter fan of Peter Pan. Oh, that's perfect. In October, I'd like to switch over and read some Edgar Allan Poe, which will be very different. I could sing my own songs. So mayhaps, I'll play one of my own songs to start. And then, do I have a pimple right here? Gosh darn it. That's why I haven't really been wearing makeup much, is because my skin's been freaking out and I have this acne medication that doesn't like things. You wouldn't want a riot. Yeah, I can sing my own song. So maybe I'll sing one now and I'll sing one towards the end. Yeah, so Winnie the Pooh through September, and then reading Edgar Allan Poe on Twitch in October. And then for November and December, I would love to read Alice in Wonderland on Twitch. I feel like that would be a really cozy holiday one, and it's like a book. So that's going to take a while to actually get through. So I'm thinking starting that one in November is going to be a good plan, because Edgar Allan Poe is cool because it's just short stories, etc., kind of like Winnie the Pooh except a lot darker. It's nothing like Winnie the Pooh. Ooh, yes. And since I feel like Like, I do still want to keep things family friendly. I mean, my dad read me Edgar Allan Poe as a kid. And then I had nightmares about hearts beating in the floorboards. But I feel like the Sunday morning stream is when more people are inclined to watch. Yeah, I'm sorry, Beverly. You can watch them back. Anyone can watch them back. Which is exciting. Winnie Allen Poe. Oh, I'm glad that you're excited, Nico. Yeah, I think that sounds like a good book plan. I wish I could read Chronicles of Narnia, but Disney is making it very difficult to have The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe be in the public domain. They try to do that. They take things that are in the public domain and then they make a thing out of it, and then they try to say that no one else can have it, and it makes me a little sad. I'd love to read Chronicles of Narnia, but oh well. Yes, you can. If you go onto my Twitch channel under videos, you can check out recent broadcasts, and they're all right there. All right, so how about I do start the stream for you with a little bit of music, just one of my originals, so I don't get yelled at by YouTube. I know, it's like I love Disney so much, but some parts make me sad. Blah, 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 blah. Which original would you like to hear? Do you want to hear the major key or the minor key? I love J.K. Rowling. Her stuff is very, very recent, though, so that wouldn't enter the public domain for a long, long time. Once Disney Plus comes out, you'll be very busy. Yes, we all will. Fantastic Beasts is okay. It's not really my jam. I just love, the books are still just my favorite. I reread the Harry Potter books probably at least once a year. So, alright. Minor is your vote. Actually pretty in tune. Also, so this tea is you can see it's red. Please don't spill it. Oh my gosh. This is a rooibos tea, so a red bush tea that is Mexican hot chocolate. It's so good. Oh, we have one vote for major and one vote for minor. We need a tiebreaker vote, so I know which one to start with. We need a tiebreaker. Do you want major or minor? Yes, the clothing in Fantastic Beasts, give me all of it. Which shall we play? I need one more vote. One more vote. Major or minor? Okay, Muppets is the tiebreaker. Beverly, we will get to the minor, which seems to be like the favorite of the two. But here we go. This is, what is this one called? Socks and Shoes. Oh, I haven't sung it all today. This will be interesting. Sometimes when I look down at my bare feet on the ground, I'm afraid to take a step into the sun. But I got nothing to lose except my socks and all my shoes. Take a breath, take a step, have some fun, and roll down the hill like old Jack and Jill. And if you fall down, pick that pail up off the ground. If you go make things happen, they will. When I heard the people fall, I slow down to a crawl. Protect your neck, your thoughts, your head, your heart. Then tears roll down my face. Thought I'd never leave this place. How did I get here? You used to be so smart. Just roll down the hill like old Jack and Jill. And if you fall down, pick that pail up off the ground. If you go make things happen, they will. But I got so many dreams that I'm bursting at the seams. I'm determined to live. I'm not gonna give up, 'cause I've got nothing to lose. Set my socks in all my blues. Just go before you're ready. Here it comes. Just roll down the hill like old Jack and Jill. And if you fall down, pick that pail up off the ground. If you go make things happen, just go make things happen. If you go make things happen, they will. There's some socks and shoes for you. And yes, my cats are running around like maniacs, because I fed them at noon, so they're not sleepy quite yet, but they will be sleepy soon. I literally look over and like Mr. Mary's on his back like this. And Pippin is like trying to bite his sides. They're just playing, of course. They're so freaking funny. But I just look over and Mr. Mary's like, it's like, oh my gosh, cat, you're crazy. All right, all right. Oh, thank you, Beverly. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Nico. And for those of you that, since we're in the YouTube realms, if you don't know Beverly, she is a chronic illness warrior, nerdtastic, phenomenal creator here. So go check out Beverly Butterfly's channel. She's wonderful and has been nothing but just the most supportive and a wonderful friend. So I would really appreciate that if you went and click subscribe to Beverly. Alrighty, so hopping back in, I really gotta figure out how autofocus works on this. Nope. Yeah, that's good enough. Alright, this is the world of Pooh. You got it, Beverly. If you're unfamiliar, this is the actual copy that my father used to read to us when we were kids. I believe the last story that was read here, Kanga and Roo had just moved to the forest, and Rabbit was very skeptical of Roo and Kanga. Rabbit was nervous because they heard that Kanga could jump higher and faster than even Rabbit themselves, and didn't like the fact that they were new and that they were different. So Rabbit wrangled Winnie the Pooh and Piglet into their grand scheme, in which they went to the park, they kidnapped Roo, Rabbit kidnapped Roo, and Piglet jumped in Kanga's pocket. So they did like a bait and switch sort of situation while Winnie the Pooh recited poetry to Kanga. And of course, Kanga went home not realizing it. Yeah, I love Eeyore too. Kanga went home without realizing that Piglet was in her pouch. Of course, Piglet had a terrible ride home. He did not like all the bouncing. And as soon as they got back, Kanga figured out what was going on. But she decided to, since they were pulling a prank on her, she would pull a prank on them, and she refused to acknowledge that Piglet was Piglet, and she kept calling Piglet Roo, and forced Piglet to take a cold bath, take medicine, go to bed, and even Christopher Robin came over and played along. So, yeah, that was very scandalous indeed. And then Piglet did eventually end up running home, and Kangaroo ended up staying in the forest because, of course, Rabbit, who had kidnapped Roo, had completely fallen in love with him. And everyone, like, I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh wow, they staged like a kidnapping. That's kind of dark. But yeah, so that was the last story. And the story that we are going to read today, I know, I love Christopher Robin too. No dear. I'm going to have to brew some tea with some caffeine in it for my Twitch stream. Hello, Digit. Hello, hello. Thank you for the retweet. I saw that. I appreciate you. So we are going to be reading today chapter 8, in which Christopher Robin leads an expedition to the North Pole, which is very fun. You'll notice if you watched any of the Disney cartoons, movies, etc., pretty much all of it are pulled straight from these chapters, which is really cool to see a book that you love come to life like that. And it's just so charming. All right. So, my nose is so itchy. That was a little summary of our last story. So let's go ahead and read this one. Oh, jeez. I was actually, okay, brief story time before we get into reading. I had a crazy dream, and it was a Hogwarts related dream. But it was kind of like Hogwarts, the video game, and you had to like collect, you had to find all of the books in your house color. So I was going around trying to find all the Ravenclaw books, but there was like some kind of stressful mystery also happening where like this Slytherin was helping me, but also they were collecting Slytherin books. I don't know. It sounds cute and fun, but it was like apocalyptic Harry Potter. It was very stressful for some reason. And then I was like getting in trouble, sort of, or like McGonagall talked really mean or like talked down to me because I happened to have a Slytherin book in my stack, and she was like, what are you doing? Of course, like, McGonagall's the head of Gryffindor anyway, so I don't know why she cared about me. But, yeah. I don't know. It was a weird dream. It was a stressful dream. I wanted it. I kind of want to tie this up like that. Maybe I'll do that. So yeah, I don't know. That was weird. So I'm kind of like stuck in a, I don't know if it's like a funk, but I'm definitely kind of still like feeling weird about all the stress of my dream. Very bizarre. Very, very bizarre. Oh, you're cleaning out the garage, Digit? That's very productive. That works. Just wanted to tie it up. All right. right. And also, for those of you that are new here, next week I'm planning on starting a YouTube only book. That way, my lovely UK friends like Beverly don't miss out on any stories. And I'm going to be starting with reading Peter Pan on YouTube, which is very exciting. Dreams of snakes, like I could be getting in touch with my dark side. Oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm like, spoiler alert, I guess. I don't think I'm secretly a Horcrux or anything, so. Thank you. Thank you, Beverly. You're wonderful. Bleh. All right. Let's get to reading some fun stuff. Yeah, I'm glad I tied this up. That's working for me. We're good. All right, let's get into some Winnie the Pooh. I'm just going to read one chapter and then see how I'm feeling and... Ooh, you approve, yes. We'll see how I'm feeling afterwards. I was saying, like, YouTube doesn't take too kindly to doing covers, so that's a little tricky. So I think just reading would be good. And yeah, let's get into reading this. We'll maybe play my other original song when we're done, because they can't get mad at me for that. So let's do it. Chapter 8, in which Christopher Robin leads an expedition to the North Pole. One fine day, Pooh had stumped up to the top of the forest to see if his friend Christopher Robin was interested in bears at all. At breakfast that morning, a simple meal of marmalade spread lightly over a honeycomb or two, he had suddenly thought of a new song. It began like this: "Sing ho for the life of a bear." Then he had got as far as this. He stretched his head and he thought to himself, that is a very good start for a song, but how about a second line? He tried singing ho 2 or 3 times, but it didn't seem to help. Perhaps it would be better, he thought, if I sang hi for the life of a bear. So he sang it, but it wasn't. Very well then, he said. I shall sing that first line twice, and perhaps if I sing it quickly, I shall find myself singing the 3rd and 4th lines before I have time to think of them, and that will be a good song. Now then, sing ho for the life of a bear, sing ho for the life of a bear. I don't mind if it rains or snows, 'cause I've got lots of honey on my nice new nose. I don't much care if it snows or thaws, 'cause I've got a lot of honey on my nice clean paws. Sing ho for a bear, sing ho for a Pooh, and I'll have a little something in an hour or 2. He was so pleased with the songs that he sang it all the way to the top of the forest. And if I go on singing it much longer, he thought, it will have time for the little something, and then the last line won't be true. So he turned it into a hum instead. Christopher Robin was sitting outside his door, putting on his big boots. As soon as he saw the big boots, Pooh knew that an adventure was going to happen, and he brushed the honey off his nose with the back of his paw and spruced himself up as well as he could, so to look ready for anything. "Good morning, Christopher Robin," he called out. "Hello, Pooh Bear. I can't get this boot on." "That's bad," said Pooh. "Do you think you could very kindly lean against me, 'cause I keep pulling so hard that I fall over backwards?" Pooh sat down, dug his feet into the ground, and pushed hard against Christopher Robin's back, and Christopher Robin pushed hard against his, and pulled at his boot until he had got it on. "And that's that," said Pooh. "What do we do next?" "We are going on an expedition," said Christopher Robin, and he got up and brushed himself. "Thank you, Pooh." "Going on an expedition," said Pooh eagerly. "I don't think I've ever been on one of those. Where are we going on this expedition?" "Expedition, silly old bear. It's got an X in it." "Oh," said Pooh. "I know," but he didn't really. "We're going to discover the North Pole." "Oh," said Pooh again. "What is the North Pole?" he asked. "It's just a thing you discover," said Christopher Robin carelessly, not being quite sure himself. "Oh, I see," said Pooh. "Are bears any good at discovering it?" "Of course they are, and Rabbit and Kanga and all of you. It's an expedition. That's what an expedition means. A long line of everybody. You'd better tell the others to get ready while I see if my pop gun's all right. We must bring all provisions." "Bring what?" "Things to eat." "Oh," said Pooh happily. "I thought you said provisions. I'll go and tell them." And he stumped off. The first person he met was Rabbit. "Hello, Rabbit," he said. "Is that you?" "Let's pretend it isn't," said Rabbit, "and see what happens." "I've got a message for you." "I'll leave it to him." "We are all going on an expedition with Christopher Robin." "What is it when we're on it?" "A sort of boat, I think," said Pooh. "Oh, that sort." "Yes, and we're going to discover a pole or something. Or was it a mole? Anyhow, we're going to discover it." "We are we?" said Rabbit. "Yes, and we've got to bring things to eat with us in case we want to eat them. Now, I'm going down to Piglet's. Tell Kanga, will you?" He left Rabbit and hurried down to Piglet's house. The piglet was sitting on the ground at the door of his house, blowing happily at a dandelion and wondering whether it would be this year, next year, sometime, or never. He had just discovered that it would be never, and was trying to remember what it was, and hoping it wasn't anything nice, when Pooh came up to him. "Oh, Piglet," said Pooh excitedly. "We're going on an expedition, all of us, with things to eat, to discover something."
To discover what?"
said Piglet anxiously. "Oh, just something."
"Nothing, fierce?"
Christopher Robin didn't say anything about fierce. He just said it had an X.
"It isn't their necks I mind," said Piglet earnestly. "It's their teeth. But if Christopher Robin is coming, I don't mind anything."
In a little while, they were all ready at the top of the forest, and the expedition started. First came Christopher Robin and Rabbit, then Piglet and Pooh, then Kangla and Roo in her pocket, and Owl, then Eeyore, and at the end of the long line, all Rabbit's friends and relations. And you can see the whole gang lined up over here. And we'll go ahead and take a little break. Yes, Digit, even humming. If the algorithm picks it up, then they flag you. And that's how, wow, Ozzy Osbourne and Winnie the Pooh write their songs the same way. And hello, Shinova. Shinova's in the house. Yes, we're reading Winnie the Pooh today. Although next week we're going to be starting a YouTube-only book. We are going to be reading Peter Pan on YouTube, which is very exciting. So I know the original ink drawings are just so charming and so lovely. So yeah, we're just going to read one story today. It's just going to be a reading stream here. And then I'm going to take a little break, and then we're going to be streaming on Twitch a little bit later. You're getting out of the woods? Oh, that's great. Winnie the Pooh and all of his friends are just about to go into the woods. Into the woods, the time we go. Da, 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 da. I've been in that show 3 times and I still don't know those words. Blah, 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 blah. So, I've got to go to my local library and get it. Aw, thank you, love. I'm just using natural light today. My window's over there. So, yeah, daytime lighting is a little easier. Because I don't have to use any lights, except some sparkles. Ooh, yes. Ooh, that's exciting, Shinova. What time am I getting on? I'm probably not going to go on until about 2:30. So it'll be like ish the same time probably. I just like to be done streaming by the time Jacob gets home from work around like 5:30. So yeah, that'll be super exciting. And I do definitely need to make some caffeinated tea. But yeah, we were discussing earlier how YouTube doesn't really like when you do covers. So every time I do one of my streams on YouTube, I always get a bunch of emails afterwards saying like, you can still have this up, but if you ever make money on it, it's all gonna go to the people that own these songs and everything. Jacob is doing well. Jacob is doing very well. Aw, Nova, you the best. You the best. Words about stuff. Yes, Jacob is doing very well. I announced last night on my Twitch stream, last night or the night before, that Jacob and I are going to be converting a trailer into a tiny house, which is very exciting. So we're really looking forward to that. Obviously making a lot of preparations. We acquired a travel trailer for free. It's like a 1987 Leighton travel trailer. It is the most 80s. Everything is like cream and orange and brown, just like you'd expect. But it's in really great shape. So we're basically gonna gut it and rebuild it ourselves, which we're very excited about. Obviously I'm doing most of like the design and everything and not much of the like lifting type labor because my body can't handle that, but yeah. I know, tea time tiny house. I know, I can't wait. I know, it's gonna be really wonderful. So it is technically gonna be a trailer instead of like just having like an actual small house. So it's gonna be smaller. It's a lot easier to legally park a trailer as opposed to a tiny house. So we're really excited. I have all the designs drawn up and everything. Yeah, we are definitely going to be making videos and stuff. And we're going to have goals and stuff to help out with the cost of everything over on Twitch. Because like being 2 artists in LA, like we love being in LA, but we can't really afford to live here. Like, you know, it's just hard. It's really hard. And I don't want Jacob to have to work 6-7 days a week, because that's silly. So yeah, it's really fun. I have all the designs drawn out. It's gonna be like literally a little cottage with little perches and snuggle spaces for the cats and everything. So yeah, very exciting. All right, let's continue on with the chapter, my friends. So the crew is all lined up to go on an expedition to the North Pole, which was Christopher Robin's idea. He's got his big boots on, so you know that it's a serious adventure. All right, so at the end of the long line were all of Rabbit's friends and relations. I didn't ask them, explained Rabbit carelessly. They just came. They always do. They can't march at the end. They can march at the end, after Eeyore. What I say, said Eeyore, is that it's unsettling I didn't want to come on this expo, what Pooh said. I only came to oblige, but here I am, and if I'm at the end of the expo, what we're talking about, then let me be the end. But if, every time I want to sit for a little rest, I have to brush away half a dozen of Rabbit's smaller friends and relations first, then this isn't an expo, whatever it is at all. It's simply a confused noise. That's what I say.
I see what Eeyore means, said Owl. If you ask me...
I'm not asking anybody, said Eeyore. I'm just telling everybody. We can look for the North Pole, or we can play Here We Go Gathering Nuts in May with the end part of an ant's nest. It's all the same to me.
There was a shout from the top of the line. Come on, said Christopher Robin. Come on, called Pooh and Piglet. Come on, called Owl. We're starting, said Rabbit. I must go. And he hurried off to the front of the expedition with Christopher Robin.
All right, said Eeyore. We're going. Only don't blame me.
So off they all went to discover the pole. As they walked, they chattered to each other of this and that, all except Pooh, who was making up a song.
This is the first verse, he said to Piglet when he was ready with it.
The first verse of what?
My song.
What song?
This one.
Which one?
Well, if you listen, Piglet, you'll hear it.
How do you know I'm not listening? Pooh couldn't answer that one, so he began to sing.
They all went off to discover the pole, Owl and Piglet and Rabbit and all. It's a thing you discover, as I've been told, by Owl and Piglet and Rabbit and all. Eeyore, Christopher, Robin, and Pooh, and Rabbit's relations all went too, and where the pole was none them knew. Sing hey for Rabbit and Owl and all. Hush, said Christopher Robin, turning round to Pooh. We're just coming to a dangerous place. Hush,
said Pooh, turning round quickly to Piglet. Hush, said Piglet to Kanga. Hush, said Kanga to Owl, while Roo said, hush, several times to himself, very quietly. Hush, said Owl to Eeyore.
Hush,
said Eeyore in a terrible voice to all Rabbit's friends and relations. And hush, they said hastily to each other all down the line until it got to the last of all. And the last and smallest friend and relation was so upset to find that the whole expedition was saying hush to him that he buried himself head downwards in a crack in the ground and stayed there for 2 days until the danger was over. And then went home in a great hurry and lived quietly with his aunt ever afterwards. His name was Alexander Beetle. They had come to a stream which twisted and tumbled between high rocky banks, and Christopher Robin saw at once how dangerous it was. It's just the place, he explained, for an ambush.
Oh, what sort of bush?
Whispered Pooh to Piglet.
A gorse bush?
My dear Pooh, said Owl in his superior way, don't you know what an ambush is? Owl, said Piglet, looking round at him severely. Pooh's whisper has a perfectly private whisper, and there was no need. An ambush, said Owl, is a sort of a surprise.
So is a gorse bush sometimes,
said Pooh. An ambush, as what, An ambush, as I was about to explain to Pooh, said Piglet, is a sort of surprise. If people jump out at you suddenly, that's an ambush, said Owl. It's an ambush, Pooh, when people jump at you suddenly, explained Piglet. Pooh, who now knew what an ambush was, said that a gorse bush had sprung at him suddenly one day when he fell off a tree, and he had taken 6 days to get all the prickles out himself. We are not talking about gorse bushes, said Owl a little crossly.
I am,
said Pooh. They were climbing very cautiously up the stream now, going from rock to rock, and after they had gone a little way, they came to a place where the banks widen out at each side, so that on each side of the water there was a level strip of grass on which they could sit down and rest. As soon as he saw this, Christopher Robin called, "Halt!" and they all sat down and rested. "I think," said Christopher Robin, "that we ought to eat all our provisions now, so that we shan't have so much to carry."
"Eat all our what?"
said Pooh. "All that we've brought," they said, getting to work.
"Oh, that's a good idea," said Pooh, and he got to work too.
"Have you all got something?" asked Christopher Robin with his mouth full.
"All except me," said Eeyore, "as usual."
He looked round at them in his melancholy way.
"I suppose none of you are sitting on a thistle by any chance?"
I believe I am," said Pooh. "Ow!" He got up and looked behind him. "Yes, I was. I thought so."
"Thank you, Pooh. If you've quite finished with it."
He moved across to Pooh's place and began to eat.
"I don't do them any good, you know."
"Oh, that's Winnie the Pooh."
"I don't do any good, you know, sitting on them,"
he went on as he looked up, munching.
"Takes the life out of them. Remember that another time, all of you. A little consideration, a little thought for others makes all the difference."
As soon as he had finished his lunch, Christopher Robin whispered to Rabbit, and Rabbit said, "Yes, yes, of course," and they walked a little way up the stream together. "I didn't want the others to hear," said Christopher Robin. "Quite so," said Rabbit, looking important. I wondered. It's only, Rabbit, I suppose you don't know. What does the North Pole look like?" "Well," said Rabbit, stroking his whiskers, "now that you're asking me." "I did know once, only I've sort of forgotten," said Christopher Robin carelessly. "It's a funny thing," said Rabbit, "but I've sort of forgotten too, although I did know once." "I suppose it's just a pole stuck in the ground?" "Sure to be a pole," said Rabbit, "because of calling a pole, and if it's a pole, well, I should think it would be sticking out of the ground, shouldn't you? Because there'd be nowhere else to stick it." "Yeah, that's what I thought." "The only thing," said Rabbit, "is where is it sticking?" "That's what we're looking for," said Christopher Robin. They went back to the others. Piglet was lying on his back, sleeping peacefully. Roo was washing his face and paws in the stream, while Kanga explained to everybody proudly that this was the first time he had ever washed his face himself. And Owl was telling Kanga an interesting anecdote full of long words like encyclopedia and rhododendron, to which Kanga wasn't listening.
"I don't hold with all this washing," grumbled Eeyore. "This modern, behind-the-ears nonsense. What do you think, Pooh?"
"Well," said Pooh, "I think..." But we shall never know what Pooh thought, for there came a sudden squeak from Roo, a splash, and a loud cry of alarm from Kanga.
"So much for washing," said Eeyore.
"Roo's fallen in!" cried Rabbit, and he and Christopher Robin came rushing down to the rescue. "Look at me swimming!" squeaked Roo from the middle of his pool, and was hurried down a waterfall to the next pool. "Are you all right, Roo dear?" called Kanga anxiously. "Yes," said Roo. "Look at me swoop!" And down he went over the next waterfall into another pool. Everybody was doing something to help. Piglet, wide awake suddenly, was jumping up and down and making, "Oh, I say," noises. Owl was explaining that in case of sudden and temporary immersion in the important thing was to keep the head above water. Kanga was jumping along the bank saying, "Are you sure you're all right, Roo dear?" To which Roo, from whatever pool he was in at the moment, was answering, "Look at me swimming!" Eeyore had turned round and hung his tail over the first pool in which Roo fell, and with his back to the accident, was grumbling quietly to himself and saying, "All this washing, but catch on to my tail, little Roo, and you'll be all right." and Christopher Robin and Rabbit came hurrying past Eeyore and were calling out to the others in front of them. "All right, Roo, I'm coming," called Christopher Robin. "Get something across the stream lower down, some of you fellows," called Rabbit. But Pooh was getting something. 2 pools below Roo, he was standing with a long pole in his paws, and Kanga came up and took one end of it, and between them they held it across the lower part of the pool, and Roo, still bubbling proudly, "Look at me swimming!" drifted up against it and climbed out. "Did you see me swimming?" squeaked Roo excitedly while Kanga scolded him and rubbed him down. "Pooh, did you see me swimming? That's called swimming, what I was doing. Rabbit, did you see what I was doing? Swimming. Hello, Piglet. I say, Piglet, what do you think I was doing? Swimming. Christopher Robin, did you see me?" But Christopher Robin wasn't listening. He was looking at Pooh. "Pooh," he said, "where did you find that pole?" Pooh looked at the pole in his hands. "I just found it," he said. "I thought it ought to be useful. I just picked it up." "Pooh," said Christopher Robin suddenly, "the expedition is over. You have found the North Pole." "Oh," said Pooh. Eeyore was sitting with his tail in the water when they all got back to him. "Tell Roo to be quick, somebody," he said. "My tail's getting cold. I don't want to mention it, but I just mention it. I don't want to complain, but there it is. My tail's cold." "Here I am," squeaked Roo. "Oh, there you are. Did you see me swimming?" Eeyore took his tail out of the water and swished it from side to side. "As I expected," he said. "Lost all feeling. Numbed it. That's what it's done. Numbed it. Well, as long as nobody minds, I suppose it's all right." "Poor old Eeyore. I'll dry it out for you," said Christopher Robin, and he took out his handkerchief and rubbed it up. "Thank you, Christopher Robin. You're the only one who seems to understand about tails. They don't think that what the matter with some of these others, they have no imagination. A tail isn't a tail to them, just a little bit extra at the back." And there's Eeyore, sitting with his tail in the pool of water while the rest of the gang hurries off. "Never mind, Eeyore," said Christopher Robin, rubbing his hardest. "Is that better?" "It's feeling a little more like a tail, perhaps. It belongs again, if you know what I mean." "Hello, Eeyore," said Pooh, coming up to them with his pole. "Hello, Pooh. Thank you for asking, but I shall be able to use it again in a day or 2. "Use what?" said Pooh. "What we are talking about." "I wasn't talking about anything," said Pooh, looking puzzled. "My mistake again. I thought you were saying how sorry you were about my tail being all numb, and you could do anything to help." "No," said Pooh, "that wasn't me," he said. He thought for a little and then suggested helpfully, "Perhaps it was somebody else." "Well, thank him for me when you see him." Pooh looked anxiously at Christopher Robin. "Pooh's found the North Pole," said Christopher Robin. "Isn't that lovely?" Pooh looked modestly down. "Is that it?" said Eeyore. "Yes," said Christopher Robin. "Is that what we were looking for?" "Yes," said Pooh. "Oh," said Eeyore. "Well, anyhow, it didn't rain," he said. They stuck the pole in the ground, and Christopher Robin tied a message onto it. "North Pole, discovered by Pooh. Pooh found it." Then they all went home again, and I think, but I am not quite sure, that Roo had a hot bath and went straight to bed. But Pooh went back to his own house and, feeling very proud of what he had done, had a little something to revive himself. Which, let's face it, that little something was probably honey. Aw, and there we go. That was chapter 8 in Winnie the Pooh. I so enjoyed it. Yeah, I can't wait for the tiny house business. It's going to be so wonderful. It's going to be a lot of work. We have our main plan right now. We'll find out if we've been accepted probably by the end of this coming week. So that'll be exciting. And yeah, I know, Eeyore. Eeyore's just so sad. He's so sad indeed. Well, friends, I hope that you enjoyed the story. I'm going to go ahead and play you goodbye. But first, I'm going to play my other original because YouTube can't get mad at me for that. Rolling deep, beckoning sleep, but to catch it, it's gone, not there, out of reach, because now I'm so wistful, and my head's bowed so low, that I'm almost asleep, wherever I go, not quite, but almost asleep, wherever I go. I'm glad you enjoyed the book. You're welcome. It was fun to get to do every single character voice in one chapter now that we've met everybody. The days fly by, but I'm not there to see. Try to catch them, they're gone. So bear, help me breathe, because now I'm so restless. When the sky starts to glow, that I'm almost asleep, wherever I go, not quite, but almost asleep, wherever I go. I'm glad you had a wonderful time, Nico. Then I stop and feel the sunshine, smell the sweet cherry trees. For a moment, it's gone. I'm here, I can be, because now I've awakened. Let it all overflow till I'm almost asleep, wherever I go, not quite, but almost asleep, wherever I go. Sorry, my cats were literally like running all around me. So I was looking around. I was like, oh my gosh, buddies. I'm so glad that you all had a wonderful time today. I had a lot of fun reading the chapter and catching up with you. I am going to be streaming on Twitch either at 2 or 2:30. I think so. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to brew some caffeinated tea and get a little bit of a snack. I hope you all have a wonderful evening if you're across the pond, a wonderful day if you're a little closer in time zone. But I adore you all. Thank you for joining along. Like, it means so much. Just because I'm streaming more and stuff, I do really want to continue doing like my 3 pieces of content every week. So beautiful even with kitty zoomies. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, thank you so much for tagging me in a post, Beverly. You're wonderful. Bye, everybody. Let's play you goodbye. Thanks for watching Tea Time with Mary. I hope to see you real soon. If you want to,
Like, subscribe, and comment. I think that would be cool. Check out my facebook.com/teattimewithmary for all the content that's new. Or my Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter. Miss Mary Lou. So thanks again for joining us, and thanks for being a friend. We'll see you next tea party. The fun never ends on Tea Time with Mary. That's me. Bye everybody. Love you too, Beverly. Good night. For those of you that can't make the Twitch stream, I will see you very soon. Bye, loves.